Hey, what's going on, guys? It's your boy Tim Aslan here with another crypto update. Guys, we are still in the range. Are you kidding me? I was hoping we'd be out of it by now, but we are still going sideways. Ever since the last video, there hasn't been too much to update on. If you've been following on Twitter, you know the kind of general idea that we're waiting for. So essentially, we're still looking for this range to break one way or another. I believe in the previous video, we were more around here where the range wasn't quite as established. However, now that the range still has been going sideways, we're a little bit more confident that whichever way the range breaks, we can trade inversely. So, what do I mean by that? So, um, we have two kind of ranges that I want to define here. So, first of all, let me make sure my pointer is good so you guys can see it. So the first range is this low right here and this high right here. So I would call this more of our recent trading range that we've been trading in the last few days. Um, and so the second range is the actual range high, which is up here, but it's not as established of a range just because we haven't retested anywhere near this area yet. And then the range low would be right here, and it looks a little bit better on smaller time frames. So you can see more of a defined range low right there. But again, we haven't really retested this area quite yet. So we can use both of these ranges to figure out where price can go next. So first of all is the TR pocket. So this is our best tool for the range. So going from this low to this high, we know that whichever way this range breaks, we can take a trade. So if it does break up, there is a chance of a rejection before another new all-time high. However, if that's the case, I most likely would not take a trade off of this TR pocket. Instead, I would actually look for a TR pocket of the bigger range like this, and I would prefer to wait for around 125,000 US dollars for Bitcoin to then take a short around up here. The other way you could trade it, if it does break high, is something like this: drop, retest, and then drop. So that's another way to trade this. This is a little bit more confirmation without just blindly shorting. But if we do break to the upside, yes, there is a chance that we can reject from here. However, I will most likely not take a short here because it's a little bit riskier unless we break the all-time high, hit up here and dump, or simply a swing failure of this all-time high. That's how I'm trading it if we break up. Now, if we break to the downside first, which in my opinion is slightly more likely, I think what will happen is we can take a trade off of the first range deviation. So the shorter one right here, that puts us around 114,000. And so what confluences do we have? First of all, that would be a swing failure of the ultimate range low right here, which is quite nice. Second of all, there is a 4-hour fair value gap perfectly in the zone, which would be completely filled if we do go to this TR pocket. Third of all, we do have the golden pocket right here, the 618. This can often be overshot and down here into the TR pocket. And then potentially, if what happens, if you recall on this fast move down, this could potentially turn into a wick in itself and could be a swing failure pattern of these range lows. So that would be something interesting as well. Now, if we do get an event where it is just like a bigger wick and it could overshoot it, it is important to note that the bigger TR pocket, which is right here, gives us a target of 113,000 for Bitcoin, and that matches the 786 right here. So this price area could also be hit if we get a stronger move down. So it is a little bit annoying that we have these two different range deviation areas of entry, just because we're not 100% sure if it will get the reaction from this one or if it will go deeper here. So what I recommend is just being a little bit more patient and waiting to see how the reaction plays out. If it's a strong wick or if it's a slow chop into the zone. These are all differentiating factors that you just have to really watch it play out live to really see. However, this 4-hour fair value gap is quite nice, and it does cut off right here. But I know there is a daily fair value gap that goes all the way down here. So that's something to be aware of as well. One more thing to be aware of that we have talked about on the channel before is the previous all-time high of 111,950 is right here as well. And so if we do go for that lower TR pocket, it could simply just wick to retest that previous all-time high before finally going up. So these are all things to definitely consider. And I wish I could give you more of a pinpoint entry like I normally do. However, I can't in this case, and I will just say this general area will be very important for a quick move down and then continuation in our upper trend. Now, if we do go up first, remember I gave you this target up here. And so if we reject from there, most likely from up here will be our bigger move down to finally retest the previous all-time high. So those are the two main scenarios that we're looking at right now. Essentially, whichever way this range breaks, just trade the opposite of it. Once we trade up from here, we're going to have bullish news come out. We're going to have a lot of people longing the breakout. If we trade down here, I guarantee you we'll have some bearish news and a lot of people will be shorting, and they're all going to get crushed. So whichever way we break out, I'm telling you, do the opposite, but also have some patience. We've been in this range for a while. So, be patient a little bit. Don't just long blindly. Let's watch how price reacts. But alts have been getting crushed. This is a good sign just in general that leverage is getting flushed out and we will resume higher shortly. So to top things off on Bitcoin, in my opinion, I do think we'll break down first, and I will be looking for longs if that's the case. If you follow on Twitter, you know I caught some nice trades here on Litecoin. We dropped down, took out this low, so that looked really nice. We might come down for another low, but you can see we have that 3 drives pattern again. 1, 2, 3, easy short down, take out these lows, was super clean. Similarly on XRP, we had some liquidity right here. I took a short on that. I'll start posting trades again here soon. So make sure there's a Telegram link below. You can just join that now. I'll also toss some trades on Twitter. But this did look pretty nice on XRP. You can see this wick. We took out a big zone right here. So XRP could resume its uptrend soon, but it is a little bit interesting. We did take out this high on XRP and now we're back into the range. So what I would recommend right now is we can just look at our volume. And I did mention this in a previous video where, once we do take out this high, there's a good chance we can come down to retest either this area, or if Bitcoin does really do a big flush, we could even retest around this volume area right here. So if you are a holder of XRP, don't get too worried, but we could come down here before resuming upward. Let's look at ETH real quick. Hey everyone, real quick, my favorite exchange, BitTuneX, is doing a deposit bonus campaign with our YouTube and Twitter. And as you can see, if you deposit just 2,000 USDT, you're getting a 20% which is a 400 USDT futures bonus that you can trade with. So if you have money lying around on another exchange and you're not already on Bit2Nex, I don't know why. Bit2Nex is the number one, no KYC, no VPN needed exchange in the world. They have audited proof of reserves every single month. They have 150% of the Bitcoin they need, 110% of the ETH they need, 105% of the USDT they need. So they are fully funded, fully backed, and have the best UI UX out of any other exchange I've ever been on. And I've worked with BitGet, I've worked with Bybit, I've worked with BingX, I've worked with KuCoin, I've worked with every single exchange. I can honestly say Bit2Nex is the best, and it is my favorite. And right now, if you're not already on the exchange, you can get a massive deposit bonus. So take advantage of that now. It is expiring on August 10th. So I'll leave the link below, and make sure you take advantage of that, guys. ETH has went over my trend line from this triangle, but has since dropped back down. We kind of expected this in the previous video because we took out this wick high right here and then came down. However, two main areas for ETH if we do get a bigger flush. Number one is a retest of the yearly open, which is right here at 3,300. So typically with the yearly open, what happens is, we'll go above it, we'll retest it, and then we'll continue up. Or inversely, we went below it, we retested it, and then we went down. So usually it acts as a point of retest. But the absolute main area of interest that is the strongest support and resistance, in my opinion, is this black line right here. And as you can see, this has been such a significant support and resistance. It's held up here, here, here twice, here, here a bunch, here, here again. And then this time it just slammed right through it. So if we do go down, it's a little bit scary to think all the way down here. But if we do go down, this is a huge support resistance that I think we could hold above and then go back to the upside. Real quick, let's look at some volume on ETH. So we have a big volume node right around that support resistance as well. And then perfectly right here as well. So this is the value area high on that volume node. And so, if it comes down here, great. Let me just take a look at smaller time frames on ETH just because I haven't recently. And I can let you know what I'm seeing. Not too much really. As you can see, we came down here and we haven't swept any significant liquidity. Nothing got swept, not even this liquidity candle right here. So in my opinion, that tells me we will go a little bit lower on ETH. We haven't fully broken structure. We broke a bit of structure on this one right here on the 1 hour. Let's check 4 hour. 4 hour, we are potentially breaking some structure if we get a candle close below here. But the main thing, guys, is all these wicks right here. Look at that. How much liquidity is resting in this area where we just need a liquidity wick right here to crush these guys. Because this wick didn't take the liquidity of the wick before. This wick did not take the liquidity of the wick before. This wick did not take the liquidity of the wick before. All of these are just resting on each other, not really taking any significant liquidity. And all that's going to happen and all that it needs is one candle through it to then have all these liquidity be crushed, and then we can go up again. So in my opinion, that's what can happen. We also have a 4 hour order block lining up with the yearly open right there. So that's quite nice as well. Let's check this briefly. Daily time frame. Nothing too interesting here. Lastly, Sui. This one is interesting. Essentially, we're in this range right now. From the range high to the range low, right? This is the range high, range low. We can draw our TR pocket, which gives us a target right around here at 3.49. It just swept the liquidity of the low, which was quite nice. But if Bitcoin does do that move that we talked about to the downside, this could easily do a quick move to the downside as well. And then we have a harmonic right here as well. So that would match the 786 of the TR pocket. So yeah, this is a setup that me and my buddy Angus have been looking at. So, and then this black line is also a very significant support and resistance. You can see held up multiple times throughout this area. It's actually crazy. So yeah, if I was going to look at any longs on alts, this would probably be the first one, but it really just depends on how violent Bitcoin's move down is. Because like I showed on ETH and XRP, you know, I'm still thinking there's going to be a significant drop in alts. I'm not sure where it will be. Like on ETH, like I mentioned, we could take out this liquidity and then continue up. But eventually, I do think we're going to retest this area. I'm not sure when, but that's a pretty big drop. So we just need to be prepared for that, trade what we're given. That's why I personally like to trade Bitcoin, because it's not going to give that like huge drop where alts could. Like Bitcoin went down 1.4% and XRP went down 10%. So, you know, once this gets established, if we do hit that range low, a swing failure, I would long Bitcoin and then potentially SUI or some other alt that looks good. So anyways, guys, join Bit2Next with the link below. Best exchange. I'll see you in the next video. Like and subscribe, share with your friends. Thanks for being a part of the channel. Have a good rest of your day.